How y'all doing out there? It's the 6 o'clock hour.
Check 1, 2. Everybody, let's do a little harmony.
You actually sounded like when you blow on a
It was,
All right, that seemed to...
You didn't give us any chance to harmony. Hey, welcome, everybody, to episode 6 of the Stay at Home Kids podcast. Woo, woo, woo! We're here today, and I got some special guests in the building. But first, let me introduce myself again. I'm Chris, and this to my left is my sister.
I'm Shannon. I'm with the boys today.
With the boys. All right, so today we have some guests. These are some guys that I grew up with. We'll start off with the number one New York Knicks fan to
Coming in hot.
coming in hot.
That's nothing you could ever say about the Knicks, but... What's up? I'm Sumesh.
Smash, tell me your last name.
Chakalaka. Like, boom, shakalaka, laka, laka.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
You remember how you had to learn syllables and you had to do the clap?
It's four.
It's four.
Chakalako.
Yes, it is.
But the way you said it was like, boom, shakalaka.
I mean, it's more fun to say it that way.
You can
right?
add extra lock.
How many K's are in your name again?
4.
4 K's?
I got 4 Ks in
Not
there.
3, guys.
K. Ah, there we go.
Gay.
And then to his, is this your right?
My left.
My left. The biggest Philly fan in all of the Philly side. Where whatever Philly is to Philly in America, this guy is Philly.
With that lovely intro, I'm Jeremy.
And then we got,
My name is Jeff. Put that in there, maybe.
so these are my friends I grew up with. We've known each other for a long time. I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna shout it back to episode, I think it was 3 or 4. I had said something about one of my friends who still drives on local streets, never driven on the highway.
I may have seen that episode. I may have seen that episode. I don't know who you're talking about. But I mean, that's, I'm sure he's a great guy. I like
Shout out
whoever he
to the
is.
biggest Knicks fan who doesn't drive on highways.
So yeah, we can talk about that later. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. Growing up, we were all very big sports fans, and we still are. Sumesh rocks the Knicks, Jeremy rocks Philly, Jeff, you rock Philly, and you rock Tampa, right, too? No. Do you rock Tampa, Jeremy? No, Jeremy, that's what I thought. Jeremy doesn't rock Tampa, although you guys lived here for what?
It's about 19 years now.
19 years, so why don't you rock Tampa is the question.
Philly's in the blood, man.
It's green. Our blood is green. We have to go to the doctor sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
That's nasty. You might want to get that checked. But I'm a big Tampa fan. Anything Tampa. I was a Miami fan. For basketball, I'm a Miami Heat fan. When Dwayne Wade came into the league, shout out Dwayne Wade. Jeff's wearing my jersey. I was a huge fan of Dwayne Wade. Who's your favorite basketball player, Sumesh?
Like, all time?
All time.
All right, this is going to sound weird since I'm a Knicks fan. But my all-time favorite player is Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson? That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Jeremy?
Ooh. You know, I think I'm going to say Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Julius
Have you ever seen him play?
No. But he's just the Philly icon.
He's okay. I respect that. I respect that. Jeff, who do you think?
As a person that has watched Space Jam at least 300 times in my life, Michael Jordan.
I thought you were about to say
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny.
I thought saying this man about to say
No,
Bugs
honestly, I
Bunny.
should have said Bugs Bunny. Man.
I mean, if we're going to say that, I'm going to say Daffy Duck. 'Cause
Nah, he sucked. He didn't do it. He was trash, bro.
Daffy's my favorite.
You gotta give credit to Stan.
Yeah.
What was it? Dude, that guy. He was all heart. He was all.
He really loved his job, right? Like, he just went all in. He was like, I'm going to find
My
Michael Jordan.
favorite scene in Space Jam is
Switching topics.
yeah.
Go ahead.
My favorite scene in Space Jam is when the entire bench is like decimated, and like he's like, it's my turn, and then Mike picks the mouse, and the guy's like, the mouse? You picked the mouse?
Let's go.
Me? Oh boy, I'm ready. I can do this.
Pick the mouse.
And the mouse is like, oh boy, me?
No, dude. Now that the new one's coming out, I wonder if it will compare any bit.
Come
I
on
doubt
now.
it.
Come on. Man.
Shout out to LeBron, New Legacy, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, yeah.
He's shouting out LeBron James.
So that's weird because like, can we just talk about Space Jam? Is this an open platform for that?
Yeah. Shannon, do you remember any Space Jam?
I remember that. I believe I can fly.
Ooh.
game over, man. Game over.
Stay
I had
at
to
home,
think about
stay
that.
at home kids' official stance is cancel R. Kelly.
So here's what we're gonna talk about. Seriously, it's how we all tried to play sports, and we still try to play sports, and Indians in general just don't have the knack to place anything that's coordinated,
Yeah.
that takes thinking abilities.
They lack the it factor.
What do I call it?
So this is probably like the worst feeling you can ever have. You like play or try out for a team or whatever, and the coach tells you, Jeff, you came out here today and you really you had a lot of heart. But we're going with Jake. He's taller and he's faster and he's just better all around. But you played great, Jeff. You gave a lot of heart. What would you say to that, Jeff?
I'd be like, sir, that's racist.
That's good. That's good.
Dude, I feel like there are moments in our lives, and Shumesh is probably going to go on a rant about this, but there's moments in our lives, and we'll start with Shannon. Do you feel like you tried a sport, and the coach was just like, you know what, good try, but nah, we're not going to go with you, or something like that?
No, that's never happened to me.
Oh, dang.
She was successful. She made any team she tried
I
out for.
tried every sport and I was successful. I just never stuck with any of them. So
She doesn't-
my personal issues.
She was the one that told the coach, I don't like this sport, I'm leaving. The coach was like, please.
Yo, she could have been the first Indian in the WNBA.
You were training me for like so long.
Oh, yeah. So
Remember y'all would drag me to the YMCA with you guys to play basketball?
that's
And I
true.
was
That's
like,
true.
"Nah, send it for me."
So for those who don't know, I think actually he still uses this email, but it's the first Indian in the NBA.
Yeah, I said this on the
So if
pod.
y'all trying to send any fan mail, it is first Indian to NBA.
NDN, right? It's not actually.
Yeah. It's the
Actually,
number
it's like
one
one-
ST NDN in the NBA.
Listen.
Y'all know where to hit
That
'em
was a
up.
good email.
Indian.
That was a good email because I never specified I was gonna play in the NBA. I was just gonna make it to the NBA as an Indian that does something in the NBA.
okay.
So it's still valid.
It went on a technicality. Is what you're saying.
Yes. So whether it's physical therapy or the water boy, I will be in the NBA.
First Indian to the NBA.
And then they'll,
No, we're rooting for you, Chris. We're still
All right.
rooting for you.
Yep. Just say, Mama, I made it, right?
listen. I know a couple people. I'm not gonna call them out. They tried the college route and they not there yet. I've been the closest because I was in the WNBA as a water boy, but I was in the WNBA.
Everybody got to start somewhere.
Everybody got to start somewhere.
Imagine if your email was first Indian in the WNBA.
Oh my god!
You can still do that. I'm sure that
I could
email does
change
not
it.
exist. You can definitely create that.
All right, Jeremy, did you try any sports growing up?
Yeah, I remember there was once where in Belshow's Baptist Academy.
Oh,
Shout out to my elementary school. I remember that I tried out for the football team, and that did not go well.
wait, what grade was this? This is middle school, right?
Yeah, I think I was in fourth or
remember
fifth grade.
this.
You remember
Fourth
this,
or
right?
fifth grade.
So Sumesh and his brother Sujit were actually helping me train.
First of all, Indians shouldn't help other Indians. Right?
Yeah.
This is,
So
it's not going to work.
it didn't work out well. I think I was trying to be a receiver. I did not understand my skill set or my size at all. Yeah, that tryout went terribly.
But like, what do you really know in
what do you-
fourth
what
and
do you
fifth grade? Is
yeah.
the question. Like,
that
What were
too.
you training him on?
Hold on, don't worry about it. I just want to know, what was your experience like doing that?
Well, I think I felt like everybody judged me because I was just like, you drop one pass and then everyone's like, oh, this guy sucks. You know what I
at
mean?
fourth grade, kids
Yeah.
are like, man, you'll never make it to the NFL.
Yeah, but it's brutal, man. Belshow's Baptist Academy, they were brutal.
The Baptist ain't.
Yeah. Those coaches, man, they looked at it and they're like, oh, God. And then, like, they would, like, throw bullets at you, man. And I'm just like, Okay, relax. All right, we're in 4th grade.
There's like, is there a lot of bullying going on at this school? Like,
Know what's going on? Bellsville's Baptist, bro.
they're like throwing the
we
ball.
should take that shout out back.
And the worst thing about that was like, I'm sure you guys relate to this. When you look at the name of the people who made the team, and you're just like looking for your name, and then you look through the list again, and you're like, maybe I missed it, and then you look through it a third time, and you're just like,
And then you misspelled my name. You know, it could have been there. Maybe they spelled it
I'm
wrong.
just like, maybe you see a G and you think, oh, that's my last name. No, it's not. It's
And then you secretly just write your name on the bottom.
Man, why did I think of that?
I tried to start it, but then coach is looking at me in the back. I was like, oh, maybe I should stop.
Could have done that.
That's when your heart sinks, man. When you don't see your name on that list.
It was sad times, man. But
Man, just you bringing that up, like memories coming back like 12 years ago of looking on that
I know what you're about to go into, Sumesh.
No, I'm
Let's
not
hold
gonna
it. Let's
rant
hold it.
on
Let's
it.
hold
I'm
it.
not gonna rant on
Jeff. Have you ever played any sport and you had that moment where you thought you were gonna make the team and coach said, "Hell to the now."
I'm gonna be honest. Most of the time, I said that to myself. I was pretty fat as a pretty round young boy, pretty chubby, And shout out to the chubby kids. No, nobody.
We all were chubby at one point.
Okay,
man.
so do it. Yeah, so I just got tired really fast, trying to. So I don't even know if I could have made it through any tryouts, but I never tried out for anything.
Like, I actually probably should have tried out for defense. Granted,
Yeah, definitely.
I probably would have made it.
Think about it now. You're like, I definitely could have hit someone. but-
Oh wait, I think it was flag football, so that wouldn't have worked.
I did play flag football in middle school. That was a good time.
Did you?
You were on the team?
I was on the team because our middle school didn't have tackle football, so we had flag football.
yeah.
And I was decent enough to play multiple positions. Coach wanted me in the game all the
Oh,
time.
look at you.
First
Yeah.
Indian in the flag football game.
So the only people to make a team out of 9ins. All right. Just
that was-
successful sports
Yeah, but that was middle school. I mean, what is middle school? They're like anybody who tries out makes the team.
Well, I mean,
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
all right, man. Cool.
Sore
It's whatever.
spot.
It's whatever.
Sore
man.
spot.
It's cool. Whatever.
It's a sore spot for Jeremy.
It's just something about it that, like, if you were on a team, and you played for a team, because they always, all the life lessons, right? Everybody's heard a life lesson that's like, when you're with sports, it's like, man, sports just teaches you that thing about life where resilience and perseverance and all these things, right? But we never learned that. So.
Can I just? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Can I just say, isn't it funny? For those watching who don't know, there was a league created for Indians to play basketball. Can I just say how funny that is? That a group of oh yeah.
Oh, it's not. You want to hear it? Camera's here. I got you. You wanna
That's
put it on
not
there
that's
for
not the one I'm talking about. That's another league. But there was a specific league created for brown people who I'm sure never made it on their high school basketball team. And so then they were all recruited and they had this whole league where they actually had to submit money to play for these teams.
I also feel like this says a lot about Indians and sports in general.
Right.
Like, there's not much acceptance for Indians to play sports in general. Like, if you ever, pick up basketball, anything like that, do you ever get picked in a pickup basketball game?
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Does any Indian ever get picked in a pickup basketball game?
No.
They could be 6'5" and they still ain't gonna pick him. Like, nah, I don't know about that guy. He probably can't play this sport. No,
But
I've
if
seen it
all
before.
but if all you have are Indians, it's like, hey, you got to pick one of us.
You gotta get one of us in there. Right?
And then we start talking smack to each other because we got picked first or something.
I was the first Indian to be picked. That's a new email right there. To be picked in a pickup basketball
First
game.
Indian to be
Like, Indian parents don't really promote sports for us at all, do they? Because any parent ever be like, I think you should play basketball. Like, hey, so I think you should go into this thing and you should play basketball, you should play football. Anybody's parent here ever said anything about that with sports?
That's a very accurate accent for his dad.
If y'all knew my dad, yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, so in the Indian culture, sports is not heavily, it's not the priority in an Indian culture. Okay, I would say that education comes first. Yeah, that's it. You don't really talk about anything.
Anything that comes after is like doesn't matter.
Yeah, so you
really.
got education, then you got your marriage, then you got your job, and
But
then
no,
you got.
but like it's education, and then dating isn't allowed,
No,
and then
get married
until that random age where you just like it's like, oh, let's get married.
Didn't y'all say this in one of your other episodes
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
That's okay.
I wasn't here.
But so our parents were very much. Like, I remember telling my dad, I was like, Dad, I wanna play like basketball. Like I wanna be the first Indian, make it to the NBA. My dad was like, you try to be supportive, and he's like, he gave me a stat. My dad's a big stats guy. So he gave me that stat. It was like, Chris, do you know that 0.01% of people make it to the NBA? And that's the best players ever. Chris, you're Indian.
I was about to say that too. I was like, I wonder what the percentage for Indian is because I think it's 0. Just 0.0. Yeah.
But you know what though, Chris? Like, I will say that you aspired to something with that email. Like,
With the
like you genuinely but like you believed in it though.
Exactly.
He manifested.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
work.
you actually.
But it didn't work.
You know, people now always say, speak it into existence. You were the first one to do it.
I spoke it, and it's still there.
First Indian to speak it into existence.
At gmail.com. I'm taking that.
We got 4 emails created just on this podcast.
Don't steal these. Don't steal
The
these.
skills that you have today, would you have had that if you actually didn't aspire to what that email actually?
No, because there were moments where when I was in middle school and high school, I bought like, dude, I can't believe, now it's bringing back memories. I remember hiring this one guy. This is behind my parents' back. They would give me like some lunch money or something, and I would hire this Asian dude. Okay, he told me that he
To do your
played.
homework.
No,
This sounds promising.
yeah, he told me that he played ball for a college team or something. I was young. I didn't really know. So I hired him because I saw him training some other kid. And we did like 2 sessions. I paid him like $25. And then he was teaching. He basically was just like playing one-on-one with me and schooling me and just shooting all over me. And I was like, God, I hate this kid. Like,
And you paid him for it.
and I paid him for it. And then I remember like buying like DVDs of like dribbling, like learning how to dribble. I remember like doing all these things. And I was like, man, I did all this and I didn't make it to.
I don't like how it's saying like sports, I guess, doesn't seem as important to us, like our, in Indian culture. But like it seems like it's steered you towards where you're going in your career path, right? So there's some sort of importance
Yeah.
to it for you, right?
For sure. But I would rather have played it.
Found your way.
Can we talk about real quick? Can we talk about the student athlete life and how Indians didn't take advantage of being a student athlete these days? Like to go to college, to get your college paid for, and to be an athlete, and you don't have to play. I think what sucks about sports in America is we only think of like 3 or 4 that are like the big ones: baseball, soccer.
Well, globally, yeah.
Globally, soccer, football, basketball. But there's a million different sports out there, and if we had maybe attempted any of those other sports, do you think we could have possibly been a student athlete?
That's the thing we never knew, right? We never tried.
knew.
So like
you know what-
tennis, golf, who knows, anything like that.
There's actual leagues for video games which are considered e-sports. People make millions of dollars playing video games. Man, like,
And
I'm like,
and I'm still not good enough to do that.
All
Can't even do
the
that
countless hours you guys played Smash Brothers. I don't remember if you remember this, Samish. At USF, there was a intramural league for Quidditch.
Quidditch?
Yeah,
Okay,
the Harry Potter
definitely not.
sport.
Actually, I do remember this.
wait a second.
No,
We don't have any. We don't have brooms. How are we gonna? Quidditch is the what?
So shout out to USF Quidditch team.
It's a Quidditch team.
There was.
Explain this to me.
Let me say something. If any of you guys decided to try out for the USF Quidditch team, you would be roasted amongst our community for the rest of your lives.
But what if you made like a male doing it?
You would still be roasted for the rest of your lives.
Dude, the only reason I remember this is because when I was doing athletic training in college, we had to go be the medical aid. Like we had to make sure that nobody got hurt playing Quidditch.
For the Quidditch team, you
Yeah,
were? Oh my god.
because it was intramural sports, and we were covering intramural at the time, and I was just like, "You got to be kidding me!" Like these kids like had broomsticks between their legs,
just
running
yeah.
around, and
remember
they
now.
were throwing the balls. Or whatever. I don't really know how you play Quidditch, and I'm sure we're gonna lose a bunch of Harry Potter fans. But
Yeah. Imagine going to your 10-year reunion, and they're like, "Hey, what do you do?" I play for the national Quidditch team.
but listen, if you win a gold medal for the U.S. For the U.S.
Is it an
Yeah,
Olympic
for the
thing?
U.S. No. I'm saying, what if it got to that point where it was a Olympic sport and you played and you won a gold medal? I mean, that's pretty good.
Sure, if it gets to the Olympics, but we're not there yet. Let's think of some obscure things that Indians would be good at.
Live pigeon shooting.
No, that's one.
That seems like a very Indian thing to do, I guess. I know India's got a lot of problems, but birds.
They infested with birds.
I know the people are like starving and stuff, but birds.
The skies are just black with birds. Just pigeons.
I guess India ain't got no more tourists, nothing, right? But it's just birds.
Pigeons.
Like, you want to see Taj Mahal? Nah, they got a lot of birds out there. Bro.
Because it just ruins the whole wonder of the world. Here's another one. Tug of war. Maybe we.
That's not an Indian thing.
No,
First of all,
because listen.
I'm 5'5" and 145 pounds.
Play
But-
this at every picnic, every church picnic.
That's true. We did. You know why I think we'd be good at tug of war is because Indians naturally have a big belly. Like if we eat a lot, we
So
get
you-
the big belly.
So
Don't you need stronger legs?
it's not
to play
naturally. It's
tug of war?
chore. It's rice. You're not born with this.
So all we'd have to do is just grow our belly, and then we just
So-
have to
so-
sit.
So you use your belly.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
You use your belly?
How do you use your
Don't you
belly
use your
in tug of
legs?
war?
Wouldn't
You do use your legs, but I'm saying the bigger you are, probably the better you.
Aren't you a physical therapist?
Balance people out of the way.
Yeah, it's probably a bad. Yeah, it's bad. I'm not winning this
Staying with
debate.
our bellies.
What about Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Jeremy, please do your impression of Mokuba. Please, if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're a millennial, you probably watch Yu-Gi-Oh. This is a reenactment of season 2. There's only 2 seasons.
There's actually so many seasons.
I thought there was only 2 seasons, and then it was like 100 episodes each season.
Oh, we know what you're doing tonight. Watch some Yu-Gi-Oh.
Chris is on Netflix going through. Chris.
Okay, all right, sorry. Jeremy, go ahead and do your Mokuba impression.
Seto.
Seto!
And scene. You know, we didn't even. Yeah, in this sport, competitors try to outrace one another without actually running.
I can
it's like-
imagine aunties race walking.
You know, yeah, you're right. Aunties would be really good at this.
You know what's funny in this article?
They do it
The person who wrote this
Yeah.
article even writes the word "huh."
He's thinking the same thing we all thinking, right?
I feel like all these uncles and aunties race walking when they're playing musical chairs at those church picnics. They're all just like.
Musical chairs would be a good one.
Musical
always-
chairs.
Professional music.
There's always that like one uncle, even if he's like going against an auntie, he doesn't care. He'll push that auntie
yeah.
to the
Yeah,
floor.
to get the
He'll
chair.
knock
He's,
you down, he don't
he's like
care.
the most. There's that one uncle. He's the most competitive uncle, and he probably is like
At every church,
yeah,
every
He
picnic.
just goes way too hard, and you're like, bro, calm
He probably
down.
knows there's a league for this somewhere.
There's a league of a bunch of uncles who do musical chairs. Like nobody picked me for musical chairs.
It's like, what do they do on the weekends? Oh, we play musical chair professional.
He's actually on the USF team.
Well, now there's all these like new sports. Like you guys seen that one? I can't remember the name of it.
Footskitball?
Footskitball.
I just made that up. I don't know.
You know, you're on to something there.
I like that.
Yeah, what's the one where they have the circle net, like the trampoline, and you hit the ball with your hands?
Spike ball.
Spike ball. I thought that was pretty cool. Somebody made that up. Now it's like leagues and stuff for that, and
You
I
know-
think they're trying to get that in the Olympics.
You know what I think Indians, not that what I think, they are actually good at? Badminton. Like,
Yeah.
Badminton.
yeah.
It's a very Indian sport.
That's a
Yeah.
very, very Indian sport.
What's the point of badminton?
I don't know if there's a...
Cricket, guys. What we forgetting about cricket?
Well, that's our main sport.
You said the buzzword of the day.
Oh my God.
Cricket.
What if we actually had a cricket
I'd
bat?
like to thank my mom and my dad for this.
For teaching me about cricket. So we want to inform all our viewers that Indians love cricket. Well, Indians in India love cricket. If any Indian in America, like if anybody asks me, do I play cricket, which is probably the most like stereotypical comment that you can ever make to an Indian, like, bro, I watched cricket the other day. Do you play? And I'm like, no, I don't even know what cricket is. Because I know Pakistan versus India is like one of the most viewed games to be ever watched. The most watched match globally was India versus Pakistan with 273 million unique viewers tuning into linear TV coverage. 2019.
That was 2019?
A live audience of 1.6 billion. Wow. Wow. 25.3 million viewers during the. This is during the new India versus New Zealand semifinal. I've never played cricket. Have you guys ever played cricket?
We've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
a
didn't
little.
work out well.
And we still got cut.
No, not like we were playing like a
No.
league or anything.
Yeah.
Someone just
Oh.
like casually wanted to play it.
We played for USF.
My dad actually fashioned a cricket bat himself.
So did he ever use it to play cricket, or did he just use it to like beat you guys?
I think it was actually the latter.
That seems like the more accurate Indian thing to do.
You guys thought it was a cricket bat. It was actually
Paddle to beat us.
he started carving your names. This side is for Jeremy. This side is for Jim.
Like, you think we're going to play sports? No, come here.
You know when your parents talk about
And you play
school and it
tennis.
never makes sense? They're like, I played junior elementary school sports. And you're like, what? Like, what does that mean?
Jeremy did.
I did too. Didn't make it though.
Jeremy's going to be the uncle, the dad that's going to be like, I played in the football and I played in the high school and the college. And
Please
then,
do that, Jeremy.
I would
Please,
tell my kids that I'm a star.
please, for some reason, use an accent too. I don't know why, but talk to your kids like that.
I feel like we have to keep the accents going for the future generation because we're not going to have accents. That's true.
We don't have accents.
We don't have
We're not. Can we?
I'll develop it one day.
Can we still develop?
I turn 30 years old. I wake up and I'm like, hello?
we gotta give content to our future kids because we make fun of our parents for their accents, but they're not going to be
They'll
able to
find
make.
other things to make fun of us for. Don't worry.
Our kids are gonna find this podcast 20 years down the line somewhere. So
They're gonna be like, oh my god, what a bunch of losers.
You know what's crazy though? My dad was like a brown belt in like karate. Like actually,
Brown belt.
like he like sometimes tries to like show us like some moves and like it sometimes like we're terrified for our lives like that he's actually gonna kill us.
I was usually the one that my dad experimented on. He's like, "Oh, Jeff, let me." He just decides to grab me and put me in this weird hole, and he's like, "Yeah," and then this is how you knock them out. I'm like, "Dad, please." But yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
he's like, Dad, I just wanted to play catch. When we have kids in general, do you want to like have your kids play sports? Not like how our parents
100%.
never talked to us
good
at all
question.
about promoting
Great
sports or
question.
anything like
Yes.
that.
Great question, Sumesh. Let's start. Shannon, would you do it? Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Because your kids might be the best shot at being tall.
But I feel like every Indian guy's dream is my kids. They're gonna make it. They're gonna do it. Like, why is that a thing?
I remember something Chris said a long time ago.
I always said it. I've heard other guys say it.
But does it also like depend on the sport too? Because I know some people are like, I don't want my kids playing football because it's more violent, so you don't want your kids playing that
Yeah, that's
sport.
the other thing. Why do all Indian guys go for basketball out of all the other sports?
See, that's where I'm different. I want my kids to play
Jeremy's
football.
different.
And this goes back to our topic of we only think of those.
Yeah, that's our thing. Are we only obsessed with like basketball and football?
Would
for
you
some
get your
stuff?
kids involved with swimming?
No.
Yeah,
Tennis?
I want them to do any kind of physical activity in general because that's something I didn't do at all as a kid. So
I said no right off the bat. he said swimming. I said no.
look, Michael Phelps is one of like the most well-known athletes out there, and he swims. All right, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Look, I want my child to get that NFL contract. All right?
As long as they ain't doing Quidditch.
All girls.
Huh?
Ooh.
WNBA, here it
All
comes.
right, if you have daughters, are you still promoting sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, WNBA, I'd say. And
We got to think of all this with golf. There's tennis.
Soccer.
There's skiing.
Skiing?
Skiing.
Skiing, yeah.
There's hockey.
Winter sports, basically. So yeah, hockey.
There's track and field.
Track and field. We totally forgot about all the track and field
You
sports.
said hockey. Let's talk about that for a second. Is there a single Indian person who's ever played hockey? No. In the
Professionally,
NHL?
probably not.
But racing, is that a sport? Like
Is there any
car.
What?
racing?
Oh, that,
That would probably be the
Like
easiest.
NASCAR.
Like
sport.
NASCAR, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Biking.
So we're gonna take a quick sponsor break. Hey, have you guys ever when we were playing football and stuff like that and you cramp?
Where's this going?
Have you ever been
What?
dehydrated?
Yeah, have you ever been
That's what he was
dehydrated?
going for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever been so dehydrated that your leg cramps and your
Yeah, and I'm
balls
just
itch?
like, man,
and
I really
your
need a
head hurts?
Gatorade.
I Charlie horsed in 2 legs at the same time,
2 legs at the same time.
which is both my legs.
So you
I didn't
literally,
walk. I was dragged off the field.
yeah. I've had those moments. Have you ever had those moments that were not sports related? You were just like walking somewhere and you Charlie horse somewhere.
Yeah, actually. Yes, that's exactly what have you been around me like forever?
What do you guys do in those moments?
I scream for help.
You scream for help.
I just kind of kick it out.
Kick it out, and it works.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh,
kick
wow.
out a Charlie horse.
So I've been in those moments, and this is where dun 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 dun.
Pedialyte.
Whoa!
Pedialyte comes into play. So guys, Pedialyte is one of those great nutritional drinks like Gatorade, but 10 times better. You know why? Because I want it to be sponsored by But it's so good. It's so tasty, and they have so many electrolytes in it. And I've literally saved players' lives at USF from the Quidditch team. Like, Quidditch players have dropped on the floor and screaming in pain because they were cramping. And I'm like, shut up, you're such a baby, right? But then you give them a little Pedialyte, and they spark back up, and they start flying off to Harry Potter World.
Pedialyte is specifically used for Quidditch, not for the NFL or.
They do use it.
Sponsors, national sponsors of the Quidditch team.
The USF Quidditch team that's the national sponsor of Keto.
Abbott Labs sponsor us Pedialyte. So good. We need a jingle for Pedialyte so that they'll be like, wow, these guys are really good.
That's weird.
Pedialyte, drink it.
Can you do it one more time?
Try another one.
I'll try
another
the one.
Okay, try a different one if you want.
Pedialyte, won't you drink it right now, baby?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time.
Third time's the
Back
charm,
up a
third
little
time's
bit.
I'm gonna try one more time without Chris's yeah. Pedialyte, it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was worse.
And now we're back. So we're talking about sports, and we're talking about if our kids were would we get our kids involved? I would definitely get my kids involved.
Yes.
Would they actually be good at anything? Probably
But
not.
that's the part we don't know.
See, like I would actually like invest and get like a trainer to train them and stuff like
See,
that.
now you're talking like the suburban white culture that gets their kids to those high fancy schools.
But I'm not gonna pay the school. Like,
No,
is that
but
what you're saying?
yeah, because a lot of these like academies and schools
prep
that
schools.
they pay for that. They pay that tuition so that their kid can go to this certain school, play for that sport, have more of a chance to make it to the pros.
If I can afford it, I would 100%
Yeah.
do it.
Because I think that because like that's the thing. Like obviously we were talking about like with our parents. It wasn't a priority for our parents. It wasn't something that they thought was like in anything of importance. So
Do you think that's because they struggled a lot to get here to America to pave a way? So for them to see us try to play a sport that whatever the statistic is, it just didn't make sense. So
Yeah.
so maybe it makes a little more sense for us now to push our kids
yeah,
to playing a sport.
yeah, especially with like because with their backstory and everything, like they're probably like still in a place of like okay, kind of figuring it out. You know what I mean? Depending on when they came over to America and whatnot. But like for us, we've been here and we understand like I guess the sport culture and like how like important that is I guess in for us. So
I know for sure I'm going to take advantage of the student athlete life. If they still have that going into 20, 30
what do you
years
mean
from
the
now.
student athlete?
Like to get my kid to be good enough to be a student and play a sport, to like get a scholarship,
yeah.
and go to college and get it paid
Yeah.
for. Like I just think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I don't think Indian parents have really considered that as a way.
To get a good education.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't technically need to be professional athletes. You can
Yeah.
get the scholarship and still,
Yeah.
have it all paid for. and
Yeah.
everything
Be a
too.
golfer or something.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a golf scholarship
That's where
at
I think.
university.
Yeah, and I think that's where we missed the boats. But it's not. It's not a fault to our parents. It's just something that we've seen.
Yeah.
We grew up with,
Yeah.
and we're just discussing.
And I think it's just different generations. That's all it is.
That's
you know?
yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Like I understand. I mean, I guess I understand where our parents came from. Why they didn't really promote this as it. They
Yeah.
want hard work and all this. Like your education is what's going to get you to that next level. They came from almost like dirt poor,
Yeah.
nothing. Came here in this country and they had to struggle to make it. And it's like, oh, I want to play basketball, and they're like, no,
It's just-
basketball is not going to get
Right,
you where you want
exactly.
to go.
exactly.
Because it's not equivalent. Playing a game isn't equivalent to hard work.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of you look at these NBA players, NFL players, and they devoted their entire lives
Yeah. Mhm.
to get to where they're at. But I don't think our parents see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they see they're like, oh, they're just playing a sport, and they think,
Yeah.
okay, it's a game,
Exactly.
and it's not hard work.
exactly what Jeff said. I think the biggest thing is for them it's a game, and so it's not actually something that like is a career or is something that you like actually will make
Yeah.
a good amount of money from. And even if you could, like what you were mentioning, like it's that small tiny percentage. So it's like, would you even take a
And
chance
since
on that?
we're not all athletically gifted at this table, we thought we were, but we're really not.
Maybe they just understand that.
Yeah, I think
Don't
that's
have
like,
it.
They saw it.
They're like, you're not
Yeah.
gonna make it.
Yeah, they just didn't have the heart to say it to us. Like,
they're like, look at your arms, it's so puny.
it's like Sumi's dad's like, he's going to be 5'6". It's not going to happen.
and the sad thing is, I'm the tallest person in my family.
Hey, accomplishments! All right, let's give it up to Smith. Cool. Yeah, so we talked about a lot of things today. Just diving into the world of Indians and sports. Let's shout out the guy who made it to the NBA. Coming in 7'5".
Which, by the way, what Indian is 7'5"? This guy was.
human is
What it's just him and Yao Ming. That's it.
This guy was massive.
Was he 7'5"?
Yeah,
He was
7'5".
like 300 something pounds.
And both of his parents were Indian?
Called on for the final 16 seconds
Wow.
of a game. I think he had a 10-day contract. I think that's what it was for the Kings.
Burlar.
His quote was, "I wanted to be like Vince Carter."
All right, so he was 360 pounds.
He was a big guy. This guy's a big guy. What school is this? He
wanted-
played for New Mexico State. Give credit where credit's due. The guy made it to the NBA, first Indian to the NBA, 7'5", 10-day contract. I have no idea where he's at now. Let's look at where he's at. He played in history for 16 seconds.
Would you rather be in the NBA and be a star for, was it 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Be a 10-second star.
16.
Oh,
16
Give him
seconds.
the
16
days.
10-day contract.
10-day contract, be a star, and let's say you make the same amount of money as sitting on the bench for an entire season.
But I made it in the NBA? That's still an accomplishment.
In both scenarios, you're in the NBA, but one, you're in there for 16 seconds. and you're like everybody views you as the star, or actually be there for a whole season, but you're on the bench.
Oh, man. I make the same amount of money.
Same amount of money. So that's not
I
a
meet the
factor.
same amount of girls. I got the same amount of
I don't
cars.
know if you'll meet the same amount of girls.
Do I get any props in India?
Huh?
Do I get any props in India?
Oh,
That's up to you.
No, like, is like my fan base like huge?
I don't know. You're 16 seconds versus being for a full season. That's the things that you have to weigh out.
I think. Do I want to be a star? I think I'm still a star in, because word travels fast in the Indian community. So my reputation is already
even if
pretty
you're
high.
on the bench?
Yeah, if I was on the bench, I would be picked up in every Indian basketball league. FDBL, look out.
even the non-Indian basketball.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
Like, this guy made it to the NBA. I'm picking him up.
Even playing on the bench, like, dude, who cares? Like, 16 seconds. I don't need that 16 seconds because I already have reputation.
It's true. Because the thing is, if you're on a 10-day contract, after the 10 days, you'd be like, I was in the NBA. But if you're on a bench, you're like, I am in the NBA. Get courtside seats, you can
But
encourage.
it's one season.
I'm just saying.
Wait,
still-
why are you
hey,
changing
you
the
still-
rules?
You didn't
No,
say
I
one
said-
season.
I did say one
Okay,
season.
one season.
What was the statistic again? It was 0.01% of people
let's-
make
right.
it there.
So
this man's on the bench for a whole season.
A whole
That's
season.
a tiny
Think
percentage.
about
He's
it.
part of it.
Listen, I didn't get dropped. I'm there. I could play with a superstar, and I could encourage them. I could be like, I encouraged him to score 45 points tonight. It was because of me. And I get all the, you know what I'm saying?
Can I change the scenario a little
Oh,
bit?
see, now you're changing it up on me.
Now I want to change the scenario. Same amount of money, okay? 16-second NBA star, or bench in the G League.
Bench in the G League.
I think that's an easy answer there.
Yeah, I would rather be a star. I don't even play in the G League. That was bringing me back to like middle school and high school. It's like I was on the team, but I was on the bench.
Man, that was fun.
Anyways, so we had some good conversation today. We talked about Indians and sports. Any of you guys who are Indian and you've played sports and you made it to high school, you made it to college. I know there's a couple of them out there. Kudos, props. Get your kids involved. Get your kids to play sports. Go professional. Make Indian people known in American sports. I think that would be really dope. Thanks for joining us on today's episode. We always want to leave with a tip for our stay-at-home kids. The kids that are staying at home. Sumesh, Jeremy, Jeff, do you have any tips on how they can survive living at home with their parents? Maybe they're just going crazy and they just need some kind of wisdom.
I'd say if you're staying at home with your parents and you're actually going to school, join the USF Quidditch team.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with that.
I think that will be the best way to spend your time outside of home, because
It's great advice.
it's really just a great extracurricular activity that you can do for yourself.
Or either that or just create your own sport. Footskitball. Do that too.
Footskitball. That is our
I don't know, but
Shannon's mathkitball. That was better.
mathkitball.
Yes.
Yes.
Shannon created mathkitball. I'm sure
Mathkitball is my favorite
Yeah.
sport.
You know how many Indians could probably dominate at
I
mathkitball?
can dominate.
Oh my god.
National Olympics.
Guys, I'm having a
I like the way they do
moment.
equations up and down the court.